Hello students, welcome again. So in continuation to my last video, in last video we have seen the scriptlet text of the JSP. So two more texts are left, the expression and the declaration tag. So normally the scriptlet tags are used to define any Java expressions, but this should be enclosed by the semicolons, and to respond or to display the content over the display we need the implicit object of printWriter class, that is the out. So out.println is required to display a content over the, while the expression tag is different, where we can define any Java objects, or we can define the import classes, we can import the libraries also, but there is no need for requiring, so it never requires the out.println. So by default this expression tag is used to write over the output stream of the response. So the default stream of the response is the web browser or your HTML based page. So whatever we write inside the Java expression tags, so you can see here the Java expression tags is, so there is two difference. So while I'm just deleting this content, we'll use later. So the script tag is always started with the semicolon, it's colon and terminated by the colon. So inside this, if I want to print anything over the response over the control the display, I can use this hello friends, right? Similarly, the statement can be, if it is written by the expression tag, so the expression tag it started with the percentage mark equals to, so I can write like this, welcome friends, right? And no need to terminate this with the semicolon. So again pasting back, so I'm using these two statements inside this JSP page, right? We'll see it later, what is the meaning of this line particularly, right? So here I'm using the line break. So let's see what will be the output, right? So according to the last video, I'm just trying to run this particular page, so right, yes. So actually the welcome friends, because of the scriptlet tags, and this statement is welcome friends is because of this expression tags. The difference is that, so if you so by default the expression tag is connected with the output stream, while whatever we write inside with the help of the scriptlet tags, if you want to display it over the screen, we need to use the out object of the printWriter class. And in the printWriter class there is a method print or println that uses the default output stream. So default output stream is here, the screen, right? If I want to let's suppose need to initialize in one variable, right? So it is only possible in the scriptlet tags. So scriptlet tags, right? So I'm taking a one variable, the variable name is type and the data type is integer. So hello friends, if you want to write something more like hello friends, my current number is, right? So I'm concatenating, right? So I'm concatenating the string, so it should be, it will give the error. The reason is there is another method with value which is in the string, right? Now it is fine. So I'm just, so it is, instead of using the value I'm using the string object. So right, so number is 10 and the current user is null. Yeah, for that case, if you want to use integer, yes, you can use the integer of data type also, right? I'm giving the break line. So these are these are the HTML tags, while these are showing the JSP tags. So it's kind of mixture of both the tags. So I'm just trying to print it here out. So if you want to just print the I value, you can use the expression tag. So by default, it will print your content over there, right? So type current user. So this current user is null, is actually it is printing by this statement. We'll talk about later. So similarly, right, if you want to print this same statement with the help of scriptlet tags, then we have needs to be dominated by semicolon. So another option, using the scriptlet tag, we can again, yes, this is successfully written over the screen. Right now, okay, so now the third JSP tag is the declaration tag, and the declaration tag is used to declare any variable, any object, to import any library or the packages also. But it is different from the scriptlet tags. The reason is the particular code which is written inside the declaration code is just executed only once. So the reason is the JSP declaration tag is placed outside the service method and auto-generated sublet. So actually, so if you recall the life cycle of the job JSP, so they are the three methods, that's the init, service, and the destroy. So the service method is it's executed or invoked every time once the multiple user or the same user is requesting the same resource many times. But if you place particular code which is need to be executed only once, so it is a very helpful to minimize the time complexity of your program or for your project, of your applications also, right? So it is a very good practice. So if you keep the particular code which is just need to be executed only once, so for that particular reason we use the JSP declaration tag. So the syntax for the JSP declaration tag, it should be started with a percentile sign, but then with the followed by a 1 exclamatory sign. While for the scriptlet tag, there is no extra symbol, right? While for the expression, instead of using the exclamatory, we use the equal sign, and for the expression tag, that is, it should be a exclamatory sign, right? So now another differences between the scriptlet tag and declaration tag, that the reason is because all the work which can be done by the scriptlet tag can also be performed by the declaration tag. So what is exactly the difference? The first is the JSP the scriptlet tag can only declare the variable, not the methods. So that is another importancy. So declaration, with the help of the declaration tag, even you can create your custom methods. So if I can create one algorithm or one very basic summation of the two numbers, so with the help of the declaration tag, I can execute this particular method. And the JSP declaration tag can declare variable as well as the method. So that is a good point. While the scriptlet tag cannot execute the methods, but it can execute variable as well as method. So declaration of scriptlet tag is placed outside the JSP service methods. So we already talked about, so don't need to recall it again and discuss it again, right? So that is a good part. Now the one of the examples. So in this example, you can see. So with the help of the declaration tag, I just included one custom methods here. So this is very simple. So cube is my method name, which containing only the one parameter, and it returns the cubic of the particular number, and the return type is the integer. So now now with the help of any number, with the help of any either the scriptlet tag or with the help of the expression tag, I can execute this particular value. So this particular piece of code will execute only once it is initiated, right? So let's see. I'm just doing some changes here, right? So I'm drawing it here, and the sum of the two numbers, int of n, right? return the twice time, right? So it is my method, so it gives me only one value. That's better to make it like summation exactly, right? Now I can use this in a way, so I'm just placing it here. So you can see initially I'm just using the expression tag, so I'm calling the particular method sum and passing two values 10 and 3, right? Closing this. Now need to execute it, and we got the actual result, what actually the method is performing, right? So actually I'm taking, instead of using the summation, I use the multiplication, but the result is correct according to the methods, right? So now I'm moving further with, wait for a moment, screen revision, right? So now the JSP implicit object, so that is a good part of the JSP. That's me. So it gives by default the 9 implicit objects. So implicit objects means no need to create the objects. Some of the objects are already provided by the JSP. But if instead of using a JSP, if we will use the servlets, that time we need to create the objects of all the default classes. Like suppose if I want to print something on over the display or over the console, so I need to create an object of print writer class. So here it is. So for writing anything, for writing over the stream of output stream, so the name of the object is out, and which is a type of JSP writer. So there is a special kind of JSP writer class, but by default they provided the one object, that is the out. So another two more important, these are the request and response, and even you can see through this example that we have already used the out object. So without initiating this object, without creating an object of print writer class, we can use these 9 implicit objects, right? One of them is out, and we already use this out.println. So out is the object of JSP writer class, and that's having a method print writer. So no need to create objects again, and with the help of this out object name, we can use the method. So those are available under the JSP writer. Similarly, the request and response, you can see here it is. So request is an object, and there is a one method, that is the get parameter. So next 5 to 10 minutes we'll talk about these request and response parameter as well as the session, because these three are very important, and with the help of and clubbing all these three implicit objects, we can create our dynamic applications, right? So now moving further, yes. So let's talk about some JSP implicit objects. So session is one of the another implicit objects. So no need to create an HTTP session the object. So it provides an object of HTTP session class and with the name of the session. So the session is already created a reference variable of the object, which is created under the HTTP session. So there is a two methods, set attributes and get attributes. So I will show you some demo how we can use this set attributes and get attributes when we require this get attribute method. While the request and the response is also the two more implicit objects, and there are some get parameter and send redirect. These are the very important for implementation of for creating a right. So for this example, I'm just deleting all the contents which is not required right more, right? So I'm show you one more very simple HTML page which is clearly so here you can see that. So I'm just using a very simple page, right? So under the form action, so I'm just redirecting the code. If I'm just whatever I'm typing under the text fields will be transferred to the my.jsp.jsp page. So this is my machine name. It is colon port number, and it is a folder which we have created test.jsp under this my.jsp.jsp file, right? So so you can see here I'm just using the uname, right? So here it is the text field. This text field name is the uname. So I'm using this uname text field. So uname text field is, so once I'm pressing the enter button, so